Whoa, that's a lot of notes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Good day, good to have you. Good to see all your smiling faces out there on the internet, and welcome to the show. Today we are talking about CyberPunk. Yes, that game is live. Patch 1.2 is coming. It's on its way, and people, the fans of CyberPunk are. You're excited? CD Projekt Red did a full tweet and breakdown, and it's across every single news site, and Matt's got it for you here. No, I am not going through this list, because good lord, that is insane. But what I am going to talk about is just more Cyberpunk in general and the state of the game currently today, and I'd love to know all of your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Cyberpunk right now? And with this update and with patch 1.2, is it doing anything for you? Has it got you all tickled in your fancy zones? Maybe not. Not me. So it's no secret, Cyberpunk, when it launched, had the issues, and we've had weird conference moments of them on, like, in their office talking to fans about the game and the current state of the game, and we've had awkward silence from CD Projekt Red about all of this, and now we are getting this giant patch. So the patch is outlining like hundreds of fixes for this game, and things like radius for where the cops are landing and respawning, which even people on Twitter even highlighted that, okay, this is kind of fixed, but it's still not the main core issue. And like, they're still respawning out of nowhere. So if you turn around, they're just kind of there, but it's better because they're not standing like at your hip. While it's good news that CD Projekt Red is fixing the game, and they're moving towards their roadmap and their timeline, what they outlined previously of all of the fixes they wanted to accomplish. Do you think that it's too little too late for Cyberpunk? When the game came out, I think that players on PC in large part felt like they had a good experience, that if you had a good working high-end PC, you played the single player, you may have played it twice, you had your fill, you enjoyed the experience. Now, we can't say the same thing for our friends over at PlayStation, nor can we say that about Xbox or console players in general. And remember, PlayStation has actually removed it from the PlayStation Store, so you can't even play it. And then even though the patch notes actually say that there are PS4 fixes for that, even though we don't have it re-released on the store. That's semantics for you. But people that played the game enjoyed the game for what it was. They saw the flaws, they saw that there were issues with the story and everything, but with the patch and the notes and where the roadmap is going with all of this, even if they get Cyberpunk optimized across all the systems, across all of the consoles, will it bring you back in? This is the big question I have for everybody out there, is because I don't feel, personally, I don't feel that there's anything they can really do to get this game back in the conversation. Now that we are so far removed from it, we are now getting all of these patches, which is good news, because those that enjoy the game, that want to go back, that want to play it again, it's starting to get on track. But the largest user base out there for console anyways, on the PlayStation 4, still don't have access to download the game if they wanted to try it themselves for the first time. So we're still waiting for Sony to come out with any type of messaging release notes to say that Cyberpunk is coming back on the PlayStation Store. We're still left out in the cold about that. And I don't think that there's anything that CD Projekt Red could do at this point. They put the most amount of marketing I think I've ever seen in a single video game in recent memory. Tell me in the comments below if you've noticed anything else where there's other games that have done that much marketing and promotional campaigns and material over the course of like 2 years. You got Keanu Reeves in the game. And that still didn't do enough. So outside of the game's actual flaws and everything from a gameplay mechanic standpoint, which were, flawed and very in-depth with slew of issues where it was just game breaking, you lost the trust with the audience, which was probably the biggest thing and the biggest issue, is that the gamers, supporters, fans of CD Projekt Red from The Witcher and previous titles, they wanted this title to succeed. We all wanted to succeed. We wanted to do well, but the unfortunate reality was that everyone was kind of misled and pulled in one direction. The game was just not that. And so coming out with patch notes, yay, but at the same token, it's not going to fix what the core issue is, which is that CD Projekt Red really misled gamers, players. There was issues with people getting burnt out within the studio of having to work overtime, and it turned into a giant hot mess. And because we still don't have it on the PlayStation Store, I kind of wonder if, and this is me guessing, but I wonder if Sony has come back and said, for example, okay, you want to get this game back on the store? It's got to be optimized and working well, and we need to see it working well and running smoothly on PlayStation 4 before you can release it to the public. And I wonder if CDPR has to get this thing up to patches like 1.3, 1.4, and by the end of this year, 2021, they can then put it on the PlayStation Store. Right now, it's like, cool, it's going to fix a ton of issues, over 100 issues that they've outlined, but it doesn't change fundamental problems with the game. That it's supposed to be this like open, living, breathing world society in the area of cyberpunk, and it's supposed to create this vibe, and it's supposed to be this like next gen RPG, and those elements are not there. And that's a big problem with this title, in my opinion, is that the core fundamentals of the game are just not there for what they were promising to players. So patch updates, great, but it's not enough, I don't think, to bring players back. And when you don't have it on the biggest console out there, on the PlayStation 4, you're just lost in a huge amount of the audience. So you're still not even showing them where they are in terms of that roadmap. And I think that it's still a problem that CD Projekt Red has with lack of communication to its audience. Yes, they've given us a roadmap, which is excellent, and they are, I guess, sticking to that timeline that they have outlined previously, but it just seems all very cold and dark. And like I've opened with the episode 2, guys, I felt like, oh yeah, CyberPunk, right, that game. I moved on. I returned to CyberPunk after I played several hours of it because 1, it was broken, and 2, I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't into it, and I waited, and I wanted to wait until that game was optimized to maybe give it another shot. And I still feel that way. I would love to play it on my Series X or my PlayStation 5 with it just running perfectly, but I still think that there are problems with the game itself, that it's not what it set out to be. So here's the other question to all of you. Do you think that if CD Projekt Red puts out more and more patches and really tries to fix this thing, is it enough? If we get to patch 1.3 and 1.4 and 1.5, or however they want to label it, but these giant milestone patches throughout the course of the year, do you think it's enough? Because where we are right now at the beginning of April, we're now getting this patch getting rolled out. So it's taken them several months into the year to get to this point. And with all of the fixes that they've had to do, yikes, all of those fixes, there's still a ton of work to do. So it seems like it's going to take them the full year to get the game where it needs to be. And as a console player, I'm looking at the lineup and I'm like, I don't have as much interest to jump back into CyberPunk when I've got Ratchet and Clank and God of War, and I've got all of these different titles that I want to play on my console, let alone things that are going to be announced and that are going to grab mind share and market share in my time to go over there. I don't feel that players out there, specifically console players, really want to dive back into a world that left a bad taste in their mouth. And there's just too many other good games and special games that are out, that are coming out, that are worth our time and that we're excited about. And I feel that no matter what they do, it's going to end up being that game on the shelf. It's going to be on Steam for 20, 30 bucks by the end of the year. And I hope they fix it. Being the optimist over here on the channel, I hope it does well, and I hope players get the updates and the patches and the fixes they want, and that the game is running the way it should be running and the way they intended it to work in the first place. But I do think that there are fundamental flaws with the title itself. And not having it on PlayStation Store and not having it communicated enough over the course of several months, these are the things that I feel are big misses when it comes to this title. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. I'm Matt here on Assemble. I'm excited. I got a lot of content coming for you guys all day, every day of the week. Make sure you check us out on the channel for more content, and make sure you guys head over to Patreon at patreon.com/assembleshow, because we have content there every single month, exclusive for our Patreon members at $1.50 Canadian. Yeah, beaver dollars. At $1.50, you guys can support the show. We've got really cool digital giveaways that we're giving out for thank yous for our first month of patrons, that you can still get your hands on those. And if you feel like just supporting the show in general, it all goes towards building this whole thing up further and further. And I very much thank all of you for sticking around and joining us. Thank you very much for watching here on Assemble. I'm Matt. And as always, thank you guys for assembling with us. See ya.